Okay, now we have come to the last part of this lesson. That is, this involves the proper calculations of the normal distribution, right? So far what we did was, we collected the information, right? Kind of setting the scene and presentation. Now we are going to practice. Now for example, we'll say, now if we take this one, we learned how to calculate the z-score, and also we learned how to read the table and how to find the probability of the relevant area. Then here also, if we take this one, we know how to get the probability if a percentage is given. And this one is where if the total number of students is given. There are two ways that we can get the probability, right? We have to divide 33 by this number and we can get this one. And once we know the probability, by reading the table, we know how to get the Z value. And then we have to apply this Z value into this formula and get the relevant mark. So what we already we have done all these things. Now we are going to apply these into these two routes or paths. Now what are these paths? I told you when we study the questions based on normal distribution, we can see they are of two types, mainly of two types. What are those? Here if we go to this curve, they will give you a particular mark. Those who scored above 80 received A passes, something like that. They will give you a particular mark and they will ask how many A holders are there, number of students. A mark is given and they ask for a number of students. So you will have to take this route, right? We have to go through this. These are the z-scores. And the other way is, they will give you the number of students and ask for a particular mark. 20%, the highest 20% got scholarships. What is the cutoff mark for a scholarship? Number of students is given, they are asking for a cutoff mark, right? Those are the two methods. Now, when we take the normal distribution problem, what you need to do is, you have to go through the questions and see what is given in each question, right? Based on what is given there, you will have to select the relevant path. There are two paths or routes. One is, if a mark is given, as I told you, if a mark is given, they are asking for the number of students. If a mark is given, they are asking for the number of students. How many? How many got A passes? How many failed? How many got credit passes? Like that. That's route number one. The second path, the route is, if a number of students is given, here they will give you the number of students in two ways, as a percentage or as the total number. A number, right? Number of students. Then they will ask for the mark, cutoff mark, relevant mark. So read the question and find what is given. Don't try to find out what are they asking for. It's easy if you can identify what is given. Then select one of these routes, the relevant route. Okay. Now these two routes you will have to remember. That's I have to tell that. These two routes you will have to remember when you go for the exam. Okay. Because sometimes when we do the problem, in the middle we can't decide which one to do. For example, here also there's the Z value. Here also there's the Z value. Sometimes it gets confused. So if you know these routes, just follow this one, right? So you have to have these in your mind. along with these two, there are two other things that you'll have to remember. What are those? Now, if you take the first compulsory question, the column headings, you have to remember. What are the column headings? Row limits, class intervals, right? If they give this one, and real limits, then tallies, frequencies, then D column, FD column. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 column headings. You will have to remember. If they ask for standard deviation, then FD squared. This you will have to remember. And also that correlation, right? X marks, Y marks, rank of X, rank of Y, D squared. These you will have to remember. And these two roots, right? When they give you blank papers at the exam, before they give you the question paper, they give you blank papers now. So quickly jot down these 4, right? You don't take those jnanapatis, or what I call them modapatis. Don't take those things. Remember those 4. These are the only things that you will have to remember, right? They will give you the formula. So when you get the blank papers, write down these things. Okay. Now we'll come back to the lesson. So when you have the questions, identify what is given. Now there are 2 paths. Then you can decide, right? Select. I'll read out the question. You tell me which route we have to take, the first one or the second one, right? Those who scored above 72 received prizes. How many prize winners are there? What is given there? The mark or the number of students? Those who scored above 72. Scored. Marks are given. Underline. Now tell me which route you will have to take, the first one or the second one. The marks are given. So the first one, a mark is given. Just follow this route. Second one, 120 students failed the exam. What is the pass mark? So what is given there? 120 students. What is that? Underline this, right? So what is that? The mark or the students? The students. So which route? 1 or 2? 2. If the number of students is given. 120 like this. Not as a percentage, right? 120 out of 2,400. Third one. The highest 20% received scholarships. What is the cutoff mark to win a scholarship? What is given there? The highest 20% of the students. Highest 20% of the students. So what's the route? 1 or 2? 2. Number is given. Number of students is given. Fourth one. The students who scored between 50 and 70 were given certificates. How many received certificates? So what is given? The mark between 50 and 70. So which route? 1. Last one. Sorry. The cutoff mark for an A was 76. How many A holders were there? What is given? The cutoff mark. So 76 is given. A mark is given, then they are asking how many. Which route? 1 or 2? 1. Then follow it, right? So that's the first thing you will have to do. First, actually, you will have to read the question. And when you go through the questions, underline what is given. Then select the relevant route and follow it. Okay. Now we are going to study, we are going to practice this first route. when a mark is given. We'll do all the possible question types under this subtopic, and then we'll deal with the number of students. When the number of students is given, how to find the relevant mark. And then we'll do a mixture of these two together. Okay. Deal with questions based on this one. The topic is if a mark is given. Right? Now the question, a test was conducted to 1,500 students. Here n equals 1,500 students. And the arithmetic mean was 50, x bar 50. And the standard deviation was 10. Those three information, right? I have pasted them on the top. So these are common for all the questions, right? Now the first question, those who scored above 60 received certificates. Those who scored above 60, underline. How many students received certificates? So above 60, write it here, above 60. And then what do you have to do? Draw the curve. 0. What is our x bar? 50. And above 60. 60 below, oh, here, above. 60 is here. So draw a line and go to the condition above 60. So this is the one. We have shaded the area. Now after this, go to the root. You have already selected now. So what's the first thing you have to do? You have to, x, that is 60. Then you have to find out z. How? By using this formula. So write the formula here. Z equals x minus x bar divided by SD. So what is x? 60 minus 50 divided by, what is 10. So it is 10 divided by 10. Z is 1. You know already these things you know already. So I'll just go through this quickly. So that is 1. So put it here. Okay. Now we have found the Z. Then what do you have to do? By using the table, we have to find the probability of the relevant area. Relevant area means this shaded area. Right? So we have to find the probability of this shaded area. How can we do this? We know the Z. Right? Z is there. Then you know that in the table, the probabilities are given from the middle line to a particular Z value. We know the Z value now. That is 1. So what is the probability of Z equals 1? It is 0.3413. 3413. Write it. That is the probability that we can get from the table. But we need this one. So how can you find this? By the way, you need to write the lines also, right? Now we have calculated this. So write the line like this. The probability, I just write probability like, no, this probability. The probability relevant to Z equals 1. What is that? 3413. 0.3413. Then you have to find the probability relevant to the shaded area. Right? So the probability relevant to the shaded area. How can we find that? We want to find this probability of the shaded area. How can we do? We know this. Then we'll have to deduct this one from 0.5. So we'll write like this: 0.5 minus 0.3413. Right. So here, what is that? We have to do 0.5 minus 0.3413. That is 7, 8, 8, 5, 1. So this is that problem. Okay. So the answer is 0.1587. Right. So we have found the probability of the relevant area, the shaded area. So what's the next step? We have to find the number of students who received certificates. So what do you have to do? We have to multiply the probability by the number of students. What's the total number of students? 1500. I told you these probabilities are percentages of students, right? So we can find the students here, percentages, right? So then we write number of students who scored, no, who scored above 60. Or who received certificates. So what do you have to do now? Write this one. Probability into total number of students, N. So what is the probability? 0.1587. That's the relevant probability. Here you can find the certificate holders, right? Multiplied by 1500. Right. The answer is, you do it manually, right? Don't use calculators. You are not allowed to take calculators. So practice doing all these things manually and get the correct answer. Right? That's why we did all those practice problems earlier. Answer is 238.05. That is the answer. Now, what is this? Oh, who are these? 238 students. 0.5 is there. 0.05 is there. ළමයි ඉතින් කෑලි කොටස් හොයන්න බෑනේ. We take that 238, approximately 238. You can write it like this also, approximately 238. Or you just leave it like that. So how many students received certificates? 238 students received certificates. How many students scored above 33? This is what is given, above 33. Write it here, above 33. Then draw the curve, 0, 50, x bar. Then 33, where's 33? Here on this side. 33. Then above. 33 is there. What's the condition? Above. So above 33, the whole area, shade it. You'll have to do these quickly, right? Don't use rulers. Above 33. Now, we have drawn the curve. Then go to this one, the root. We know x, 33. Then, by using this formula, we'll have to find the z value. Write the formula. Sometimes you'll get marks for this, right? X minus x bar divided by SD. So, x is 33 minus 50 divided by 10. So here minus 17 divided by 10. The answer is minus 1.7. Minus 1.7. Minus mark is there, right? Then put it there. Minus 1.7. Right. We have found the Z value. Then what you have to do? By using the formula, we'll have to find the probability of the shaded area. This area. Right? Now, you know that from here to this side, the probability is 0.5. Then, you know, from the middle line to a particular Z value, they give the probability in the table. So, the probability is, the Z value is there, minus 1.7. So, find the probability for 1.7. We'll write probability of Z equals minus 1.7, that is 4554, 0.4554. Then what you have to do? Probability for this above 50. Probability of above 50. That is 0.5000. Next, what you have to do? Probability of the shaded area. So, probability of the shaded area. What you have to do? You have to add on. This one is that 4554. Right. Now what you have to do? We have to add these two together. That is, yeah, you can write like this also. Equals 0.4554 plus 0.5. The answer is 0.9554. Answer in the sense the probability of the shaded area. Now we have found the probability of the shaded area. Then what do we have to do? We have to find the number of students who scored above 33. Then write number of students scored above 33 equals probability into n. What is this probability? This one. All. Right? So 0.9554 multiplied by 1500. Here answer is 1433. 1433.1. So the number of students who scored above 33, the number is 1433. Question number 3. By now, I think you can do all these problems, but there are some students who find it difficult to follow the steps, so I'll do them. Okay. Question number 3. Those who scored below 42 failed the exam test. How many failures were there? Or what is the pass? No, yeah. How many failures were there? What is given? The mark. Those who scored below 42. Underline. Then draw the curve. Always put those. Right? Go to this one below 42. Below 42. Where's 42? On this side. 42. Draw the line. Go to the condition. Below. Below 42. Shade the area. Now go to this one. You have to find the Z score. Z equals x minus x bar divided by SD. 42 divided by 50. 42 minus 50 divided by 10. So here it is minus 8 divided by 10. So minus 0.8. Minus 0.8. Okay. Now we got that one. Then we'll get this one. We have to find the probability of the relevant area. We know only this probability. No, we don't know this probability. We can find the probability of this area from the table because we know the relevant Z value. So write probability of Z equals minus 0.8. That is 2881. Then this is 2881. Then what do you have to find? This one. So we have to deduct probability of the shaded area. Zero 0.5 minus 0.2881. So you do it manually and get the answer. Answer is 2119. That is this one. 0.2119. Now what? We have found the probability of the relevant area. Then we need to find the number of students who scored below 30, no, below 42. Number of students scored below 42. That is, write this, right? Probability into n. This is probability. 0.2119 into 1500. Out of 1500, this probability, that means 21.19%. So here the answer is 317.85. That is approximately 318 students failed the exam test. Easy. Question number 4. What is the number of students who scored below 70? Below 70. Now draw the curve. Where 70? Here. On this side, draw the line. Go to the condition. Below 70. Below 70. The whole area. Now you know the area. Then what you have to do? We have to find the Z value. X here is 70 minus 50 divided by 10. 20 divided by 10. So the Z is 2. It's a plus value because it's above now. So 2. Okay. Now from the table we have to find the probability of the shaded area. This part you know, that is 0.5. This section you know because that Z value is there. So what is the probability for Z equals 2? It is 4772. Now write the lines. Then this is the probability of this. Then this side, probability of the shaded area. Or you can write probability of below Z equals 0. Z equals 0 is this one, below, that is 0.5. Then probability of the shaded area. Zero point 5 plus 0.4772. That is 9772. Now find the number of students. So number of students who scored below 70. That is probability into n. That is this 0.977 to 1500. The answer is 1465. 1465.8. So the number of students who scored below 70 is approximately 1466. Question number 5. How many students scored between 35 and 62? Between 35 and 62. Right? I have given the notes of all these things, right? First you have to watch the videos and then copy down the rest, then you can understand. Right, how many students scored between 35 and 62? What's the first step? Draw the curve. Between 35 and 62, 35 as 35 here. By the way, you'll have to write the condition, right? Between all this. Then 35 and 62. Where 62 here? What's the condition? Between 35 and 62. Now, by looking at this, you can, you know what to do. You have to find the Z value, then the probabilities, right? And then multiply that by the total. Now we'll name this as Z1, Z2, it doesn't matter, right? Whatever, right? Z1, Z. Now you have to find the Z values. Okay, Z1, Z1 equals x minus x bar divided by SD. That is 35. Minus 15 divided by 10. So it's a minus value, minus 1.5. Put it here, minus 1.5. Next one is Z2. Z2 equals, that is 62. 12 divided by 10, 1.2. So Z2 is 1.2. Right. Now, once we have calculated this one, find the probabilities. So you can find the probabilities because you know the Z values. 1.2. What's the probability for 1.2? 3849. 1.5 minus. You know that there are minus probabilities on the Z. 1.5, 4332. Then I will have to write the lines. Probability of, if you don't have time at the exam to write the lines, just write the values here, right? Probability of Z equals 1.2 equals 1.2, 3849. Then probability of Z equals minus 1.5. 433. What's the next line? Probability of the shaded area. Here. What you have to do? You have to add these two. Plus 433. Then the answer is 8181. Then write the what we have to find, number of students who scored between 35 and 62. Answer is 1227.1. So once you know how to draw these things, you can get the idea on how to do the problems, right? If you, as I told you earlier, if you don't have time to write the lines, you do these calculations properly, right? Neatly. Question number 6. The students who scored between 59 and 73. Between 59 and 73. Got credits. How many credit holders are there? Draw the curve. Now what have 59 and 73. 59. So 59 is here. And 73. 70. Then what is the condition? Between 59 and 73. Right. This is the area. Right. Now we have to find the relevant Z values, then find the probability. Right. So we'll mark this one as Z1. Get the one closer to the end Z1 because we have to deduct from Z1 this one, right? Z2. We have to deduct Z2 from Z1. This is the larger value, so we'll take this one, Z1. So Z1 equals x minus x bar divided by SD. The answer is 2.3. You can write it here, 2.3. Next one is Z2 59. 9 divided by 10, so 0.9. That is this 0.9. Now you can find the probabilities. Now Z1, you know this is Z value. So we can find the probability of this area. Then we can find the probability of this area. Why? Yes, it's 9 even. Then we can deduct this from this area. Then we can find this one. Right? We'll write the lines. Probability of first, what is the first one? Z1. Probability of Z1. Z1 equals 2.3. What is that probability? 2.3. 4893. You can write it here also, right? You know how to put arrows and write. Then probability of this area 0.9. Nine is 3159. 3159. Then probability relevant to the shaded area. What you have to do? We have to deduct this one from this. Deduct this from this, right? So answer is 1734. right here 17. Then we have to find the number of credit holders. So you have to write very neatly. I am saving your data. That's why I'm writing quickly. Probability is 0.1734 into 1005. Answer is 260.1. Check, right? Check all these things. That means 360 students are credit holders. Question under this section if a mark is given, right? The question is how many scored between 22 and 38? So this is what? Between 30, 22 and 38. So when we are taking these values, between values, always take the lower ones here to your left side. Right, to your left side. So 22 should come here. And this one, 38. Right? Even when we are drawing this side, right? Between, we'll say between 70 and 80. Between 70 and 80. So 70 is the smaller value. Always the smaller values go to this side. Right? So this is 50 x bar 70. Here it should come first. 7 small, then 8. If you write between 80 and 70, 80, 70, it's wrong because the smaller value is here. No, this is wrong. Okay. So the correct one is here it is 70 and here it is 80. Likewise, that's what I wanted to highlight. Take the smaller values here, value to this direction, this side. Right? 22, 38, 50, 60, 70, 80, like that. And yeah, you write these things and put Z1 and Z2. Then what you have to do? You have to shade the area between 22 and 38. Right? So we know that. Now we have to find Z1 and Z2. Here, according to this road, we have to find Z1 and Z2. So when we calculated Z1, it is minus 2.8. Why minus? It's below the average. 22 is below 50. So you have to put minus 2.8 here. Then Z2 is minus 1.2. Put minus 1.2. So once we have calculated the Z value, then by using the table, we can find the probability of the relevant area. This one. So Z1, we know that Z value. What is that? Minus 2.8. So we can find from the probability of this area from the table, and that is 0.4972. We can write it like this, 0.4972. And then we have to find the probability of this area because we know Z2, right? It is minus 1.2. Z2 is 3849. So the probability of that area is 0.3849. Now we have to find this one. So we have to deduct this from this there. So probability of the shaded area is this 0.115. So we have found the probability of the relevant area, shaded area. The next one is we have to find the number of students, how many. So number of students who scored between these two values are probability into n. Write this one. What probability? Probability of the shaded area, relevant area. This one into the total number is 1500. So the answer is 168.78. Approximately 169 students have scored between 22 and 38. Okay, so that's the way. What do you mean by the way? If a mark is given, here the mark is given, you have to follow this route. Right? That's why we did everything step by step. Right? First we learned how to shade the area. Here, shading the area is very important. Then only we can find these things. Then we learned how to find the Z value, Z score. Then we learned how to read the table. If the Z value is given, what's the probability? If the probabilities are given, what are their relevant Z values, right? And then, we found the probabilities. We came to know the probabilities. Then this is the additional part. Probability into n. Probability means as a percentage. In this case, now it is 0.1125. As a percentage, what is that? 11.25% students have scored between 22 and 38. 11.25. Out of what? Out of 1500. Yes, the total 1500. Out of 1500 to 11.25%. That's what we are doing here. Right? So then we can know the number of students. That's the first route. That's why we did everything in the step-by-step method. Then you can apply all these values. So remember this and apply the values correctly, right? Always go to this step route and do. Once you have calculated the Z value, then once you have marked, then go to this one. Now I have to find the relevant probabilities like that. All right.